everyone, this is Gretchen at the Hotchkiss Library of Sharon. I'm here on March 2nd with the March Fiction Book Buzz. I'm going to start today with a couple of thrillers. I have two things by British female authors. I have The Burning Girls by C.J. Tudor, her latest book. Sounds really fascinating, about a young vicar and his teenage daughter who moved to this town for a fresh start, and secrets begin to emerge, lots of mysteries, and there is a dual time structure to the novel. So the vicar of this small rural parish begins to find out about things that happened there a couple of centuries before, dealing with teenage girls, and his own daughter becomes involved in this mysterious situation in the town. So it sounds like a good book for a March chilly evening with a good glass of wine or cup of tea. Along the same lines, for something that's a little creepier, we have The Sanatorium by Sarah Peers, another British writer. This new thriller, which just came out, is Reese Witherspoon's latest book club pick, and it deals with somebody who follows someone to a sanatorium in the Swiss Alps and then can't find that person when they arrive there, and the secrets and mystery that unravels at that point. One of the quotes on the back says, "This is one of the creepiest thrillers I've ever read." So if you like a good creepy chill, this will do it. I have two literary novels that deal with the impact of technology and social media on our lives. I have Fake Accounts by Lauren Euler, and this has gotten a lot of attention and press. Lots of interesting reactions to this book. It's about a young woman who, I think on the eve of Trump's inauguration, discovers by scrolling through her boyfriend's phone that just happens to be sitting next to her that he is a conspiracy theorist. And she has to come to terms with the fact that he lives sort of a double life. She then leaves the United States and goes to Berlin and further deals with the implications of social media and technology in her life. We also have No One Is Talking About This by Patricia Lockwood. She's the best-selling author of a memoir called Priest Daddy, which came out a few years ago. And I read an excerpt of this book in The New Yorker a few months ago, not realizing who she was. And now that I know that's what I was reading, it was really interesting. So I'm curious about this book. This has been referred to as genre busting. It's hard to determine what genre she's writing in. And she takes on the future, not so distant future from us now in the United States, and investigates the impact of social media on people's lives. And now for a few things that are maybe a little lighter, I don't know, a little bit. We have Kathy Bonadin's new novel, The Lost Manuscript, about a woman who checks into an inn in Brittany and discovers an abandoned manuscript, and then goes off on the hunt to discover who had begun this manuscript. It sounds like a really fun literary puzzle and historical novel in one. And I have a very long book, if you have a big weekend coming up. It's a lot of pages, called Cathedral by Ben Hopkins. And if you were a fan of Ken Follett's books, The Pillars of the Earth and that whole, trilogy, this is for you. It's a similar book of the 12th and 13th century in Europe, and the story revolves around the construction of a cathedral, which took more than 100 years to complete construction. And I have a new novel by Kate Russo called Superhost. She's the daughter of, Richard Russo. That's his name. I couldn't remember his first name, Richard Russo. And it's funny, this book she wrote before the pandemic, and of course we see the word superhost and have one idea in our head. And this actually refers to the title character, a man named Bennett, who's a sort of has-been artist in London, and his one remaining asset is this big house in London. And so he moves into his studio in the back, and rents out his house on Airbnb. So that's where the term superhost comes from. It's not virus related. And it's an interesting investigation of what it's like to observe all these people who come and stay in your home from a little bit of a distance. And I believe it's very comical as well. And lastly, I have a book called The Inland Sea by Madeline Watts. This is a book by an Australian writer. It has intersecting timelines and plot lines in the story, one of which is in the present day, a woman who is an emergency response, what do we call them? At the dispatch for the ambulances, that sort of thing, emergency dispatch operator, and set in Australia during the times of the great wildfires that they've experienced the last few years, and also other tales from the Australian continent in terms of climate change and destruction of the nature of that wonderful continent. So it's apparently beautifully written and has received a lot of praise. A tricky marvel, melancholy and bright, ingenious and gentle, an emergency inside of an idyll. Watts is an exceptional talent, according to Rivka Gulchin. So I hope that you will come in and check out one of these many great books that we have here for you. And you can call us, you can email us, you can come in by appointment to browse and pick up however many books you'd like, or you can place a request and we'll put it out for you on curbside pickup. Everyone stay well and enjoy some reading. Thanks. Bye-bye.